Mike. Momentarily. If you're not seated, may I invite you to do so, please. The minister is coming in a couple of seconds. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, with that cheery good afternoon from the minister, we will commence. My name is Garfield Young, and my role is very simple, to ensure we're out of here by 7 o'clock. I am Professor of Geomatics Education in the Faculty of the Built Environment at UTech, and once played the role as admissions, chair of the Admissions and Enrollment Committee. And I'm mentioning it because this occasion is particularly special to me because it's about increasing access into our university. It is the launch of UTechOpen, School of Lifelong Learning and Professional Development. It's actually a rebranding. And President, I did a bit of rebranding today, you might notice. I'm normally in gray or black suit. But I was inspired by Deputy President today. Rebranding is important. So welcome all. Mr. Mark Golding, MP, Leader of the Opposition. Honorable Favour Williams, MP, Minister of Education and Youth. Ambassador Rocky Mead, Permanent Secretary, Office of the Prime Minister. Ms. Rachel Silvera, I was looking for her sash, so maybe she's somewhere. Miss Universe Jamaica 2024. And a UTech student, I'm just learning. Ms. Nikisha Walsh, Executive Director of the Students' Loan Bureau, and your team. Mr. Aldrich McNabb, fresh from China, our Pro-Chancellor. Professor Shermaine Barrett, Acting Deputy President. Ms. Marion Brown, Vice President and University Registrar. Dr. Sophia McIntosh, the reason I'm standing here, Head of UTechOpen. Deans, heads of school, members of academic and administrative staff, our guest speaker, alumnus, and vibrant supporter of this, our university, Mr. Courtney Campbell, President and CEO of VM Group, and who also is a recipient of a national honor. And I could say a lot more, but happy to have you. I think the university chaplain was maybe a year ahead of me when I was at CAST, the Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels, specially invited guests, students, and I see the beautiful blue shirts. They're always representing so well, and others outside of the uniform. Sponsors, the Victoria Mutual Building Society. I don't think you're called that anymore. VM Group. The Students' Loan Bureau, members of the media. Good afternoon. Welcome again to the UTechOpen School of Lifelong Learning and Professional Development launch, and a rebranding of what we used to call the UTech Academy. Now we're bigger and better. Now, open. Being in a position or adjustment to permit passage, not shut or locked, an open door, for example, having a barrier, such as a door or a window, so adjusted as to allow passage. For example, UTech is open. That's a simple and important question. We're always open. Now, the word open is an adjective, as Ms. Kelly would tell you, and it means allowing access. It means passage. It means not closed or blocked. But did you also know it's a verb? Yes? And it means move a door or a window, any kind of blockage, so as to leave a space for allowing access and, Dr. Graham, vision. And did you know it's a noun? I'm going to stop at noun though. Right? As a noun, when I say to my student, we are going on the outdoors, or we are going in the open to do surveying practical. Open is a noun, isn't it? But, right, the open. Importantly, It's an English both, yes. But importantly, the noun that, according to my research, is defined as a championship. UTechOpen championship, or a championship, listen carefully, with no restrictions on who may compete or participate. That's UTechOpen. We are removing restrictions because this is the People's University and we must increase access. So welcome to the launch of UTechOpen. We're going to invite our chaplain, the Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels, an alumnus of this Open University, to bring the invocation. Welcome in.
Thank you very much, Professor, rebranded MC of the University of Technology. It's good to see you once again, and good to see my other good friends that are here, both students of the university, going right up to the national leaders in this country. Good to see you, and I'm happy to know that I can say I know you all. It is my pleasure to participate in this very significant occasion. And for the invocation, I want to begin by just lifting up two verses before you that I consider of great importance. They're both in Proverbs chapter 1. It says in verse 5, "Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance." And then two verses down, it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom," or of knowledge, "but fools despise wisdom and instruction." When you look at these two verses as we go to prayer, we give God thanks for the Christian church and its role in the establishment of public schools and universities around the world. In fact, we claim to be the ones to commence the idea and the startup of public schools and universities in the world. And I think that that is something to celebrate. And we continue by participating and partnering with the University of Technology in this time. Let's stand as we now go to God in prayer. Let us pray. Omniscient God of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, we come to you today with a heart of celebration and thanksgiving for bringing us to this place to celebrate the rebranding of the open institution of the University of Technology. We give you thanks for UTech and for its dynamism in this nation and the region. We thank you that UTech, as it continues to rebrand itself, not just in the open school, but in general, is becoming an institution and indeed is the university of choice based on research for the labor market and institutions. We thank you, Lord, for the impact of the University of Technology in the growth and development of Jamaica and indeed the wider Caribbean and the world. And now, as we now launch this great component of the University of Technology, we present to you today this ceremony of thanksgiving and celebration, but this ceremony where we will reflect on the way forward for this great university. We ask for your blessing upon everyone that will participate, that you indeed will enable and empower everyone to present in a manner that is effective and that will lead to the enrichment of this ceremony. So then, Lord, we commit this entire program to you, and we pray that at the end of it all, you will receive the glory and the University of Technology will march upward and forward into the future. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain. We're going to do a little bit of exercise. Great to see you, Professor Aples. For your sake, I'm going to ask that we stand again, and this time for the national anthem. It will be played.
Eternal Father, bless our land, guard us with thy mighty hand, keep us free from evil powers, be our light through countless wars. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be us forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love. Teach us true respect for all, star response to duty's call, strengthen us the weak to cherish, give us vision lest we perish, knowledge send us, Heavenly Father, grant true wisdom from above, justice, truth be us forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love.
The singer of that song is a UTech alumnus. He's a pharmacist, and he's a member of staff, Dr. Sean Moncrief. And for those of you who don't know, the world-class athletes you saw at the end are UTech alumni. So greatness resides at you. I'd like to welcome to the podium UTech's first president, who is an alumnus of this wonderful institution. And we are proud to have you here, Dr. Brown. Welcome to the podium to bring welcome.
Thank you so much, Professor Garfield Young. He's the former dean of the Faculty of Built Environment, but these days, since leaving office, he seems to have turned his hand to Master of Ceremonies, all right? Don't know which one pays more. All right, but thank you so much, and it's good to see the change in fashion. I'm not sure if you and Professor Barrett coordinated this morning, so yin and yang, right? So, all right, thank you. So let me just start by welcoming our guests, our special guests. First up, Mr. Mark Golden, our leader of the opposition. Thank you so much for making the time to be here. As you know, education is at the forefront of our future national development, and it's good to have your support for this event. I also want to welcome Honorable Faithful Williams. Welcome home, Minister, as always, right? We're always happy to see you here. She's not only the Minister of Education and Youth, but she's our MP, and we have claimed her, although other institutions fighting over your minister, so I don't know, we're in a bit of... Last time she was here, there was a bit of an interesting situation between us and our neighbors next door. But Minister knows where her home is. So Minister, thank you so much for being here. Let me also welcome Ambassador Rocky Mead, these days dressed in a suit. You remember the previous uniform? But these days dressed in a suit. He's now the permanent secretary in the office of the Prime Minister. He's here representing Senator the Honorable Dana Dixon, Minister with our portfolio in said office of the Prime Minister. And she is responsible for skills and digital transformation. You all knew that, right? So, welcome, Ambassador. Last time we met, I was in the diaspora, so you're probably wondering, how did that happen, right? This switch. Now I'm here. So, good to see you. I also want to welcome Ms. Nikisha Walsh from the Students' Loan Bureau. See the students smiling, Ms. Walsh. So it's either they're happy with the loans they're receiving, or... But you're also one of the key sponsors of today's event, and we want to express our appreciation for your support. I also want to, by extension, welcome members of your team. Let me also recognize our Pro-Chancellor, Mr. Aldrich McNabb, or Ali, a national treasure, just landed from public duty, public service, representing Minister Babsy Grange in China, where our own Professor Kamala Hilton is leading a delegation working with the Chinese on sports and capacity building and knowledge exchange. I'm sure we'll have to put on a special event for Pro-Chancellor McNabb to come and talk about his Chinese exploits, right? So look out for that one, and we'll learn more about what he discovered in China and how Jamaica can benefit. So welcome home, Pro-Chancellor. To members of the leadership team, Vice President and Registrar, Ms. Marian Brown, our Acting Deputy President, Professor Shermaine Barrett, other members of the senior leadership team, I can see some here. I think some are also online. Welcome and thank you for your support. I see some deans as well. Thank you so much for being here, along with heads of schools, program directors, members of the administrative staff, and everyone who makes UTech work for our students. Thank you so much for being here. And I also want to acknowledge the Students' Union. If you're wondering who are these guys in blue shirts, they're not the police. They are members of our Students' Union body. And I want to thank them for their support. Some of you may have seen that they stick me up in the news, right? Demanding lower tuition increases. But we won't talk about that today. All right, we won't talk about that. I also have noticed the arrival of Miss Rachel Silvera, Miss Universe Jamaica 2024. Do you want to stand for us? Come on, let's recognize her. Mark the check-in if I remembered you. Early, he was the first one. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. He's a very detailed MC, right? So thank you so much for coming, and we're happy to have you as part of our event today. I did a bit of glitter, right? So I don't know, you need some sunglasses there, Ambassador Rocky Mead. But let me also extend warm welcome to Mr. Courtney Campbell, who will be receiving national honors, well-deserved honors for services, for his work in the financial sector. But I would argue his work in developing Jamaica and the diaspora, because that's where I met him. We've been friends for many years while I was in the UK. And Courtney and VM are very dedicated to the many Jamaicans who live overseas. Almost 3 million of us live overseas. So we're really happy to have him as our guest speaker because today's launch is about a school that should impact the private sector as well as many other stakeholders. So let me just round up by welcoming all of you here, all our special guests, everyone who's made the effort to be here. It's not often that UTech launches a brand new school. You may have heard us say that this is a rebranding, but for me, it's a brand new school because whatever we had before was not a school, right? But now, today, we are launching a school with a wider, more contemporary remit, a scope that's relevant to where not just Jamaica, but the world is going with respect to workforce development. If you haven't heard it yet, but if you listen carefully to our Chancellor, Ambassador Lloyd Carney, he will remind you that your degree, some of your pursuing degrees here, will perhaps only have a life cycle of 5 years because the world is changing so frequently. So it's all about lifelong learning, right? And so that's what this school is here to facilitate, that lifelong learning. But I want to underscore my remarks by reintroducing you to UTech. Because since I've been here, the brief few months that I've been with you, I realized that UTech means different things to different people. I'm sure if I ask all the members of the front row, they'll have a different view of what UTech is. So we want to now ensure that it's very clear and plain what our institution is about. And it's right there, Minister Williams. We are Jamaica's national STEM university. And this is just us reasserting a position that we've had for 66 years, Minister, but unfortunately perhaps has gone unrecognized. And so we're just ensuring that we know what UTech's about historically and going forward. Jamaica's national STEM university. I know some of you are probably thinking, but what about next door? Next door also has its own fame to claim. Next door is one of only 2 federal universities in the world. But this one, UTech is our national institution. If you're wondering what's a federal university, it means it's owned and run by several countries. But this one run by Jamaica. And we are not just a university. We know what we're about, Minister. We are STEM-focused, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We were created, by an act of law. So when you talk about a public institution, this is it, right? And so our focus is to deliver a STEM workforce. UTech has and will remain an institution that combines theory with practical application. So whether we're teaching artificial intelligence, robotics, business, every student at this institution will learn the theory, but they will also get the practical. That is something we're committed to. We're not changing from that. And so, Minister, we will continue to produce work-ready graduates for Jamaica, for the region, and for the world. Remember, I was in the UK for 23 years, having left UTech. So when I say we produce graduates for the world, I mean it. The new president of JPS, who's under a bit of pressure, is a graduate. Made his name in New York, in the United States, in terms of his industrial career, but he came from here. So I'm reinforcing the point that we should stop taking our institution, FIWI, our university, for granted. Great things we have done, and great things we will continue to do. But I realize I have to remind Jamaica, perhaps too often. And our history is quite storied. 1958, Jamaica Institute of Technology. So from the very beginning, it was clear. Our STEM agenda was laid out. And we quickly transitioned to CAST, which most people know us as College of Arts, Science and Technology. And then we pivoted to the University of Technology. The agenda is clear, the agenda remains the same. However, we are always having to evolve because the world is not standing still. In yesteryears, Ambassador Meade, Rocky Meade, we were 50 students. Today, we are 12,000 students. Not far from next door, they're just 15,000. People don't realize how close we are in numbers. We have over 100 programs, diploma, degree, and so on. And we have over 1,000 STEM graduates per year. We have 60,000 alumni, and we're 1,200 staff strong. So, Minister, our university has grown significantly. The funding has not grown, but we'll skip over that for now. We have 8 colleges and faculties. Some of you who are from the CAST days will remember departments, commerce department, engineering department, and so on. But now we're colleges and faculties. We have 8 of them. And let me just go straight to the one that people seem to pick on a lot, Faculty of Law. Because, yes, we have a law school, but the mandate, Mr. Golden, is that our law school will be a STEM law school. And so when you come to our law school, it will not be just any old law experience, right? And so we're modernizing the course to introduce and include technology. So I'm looking at Professor Thorpe, our Dean of, for the Faculty of Engineering and Science, because now he has a big job on his hand, because in the past he thought maths and English were the general education modules, the modules we teach to all our students. But now his School of Computing, his School of Engineering are now general. It's a general school. They will teach all those modules across all our faculties. So, Minister, where we're headed is that currently we're 70% STEM programs. In the future, Minister, 100% STEM. Right? And I know Prof. Thorpe is up to the challenge, so we're not worrying about that, right? And we're not just in Papine. You know, when I attended UTech many years ago, we were just here, Papine. I lived on the dorms for 3 years. In fact, that's why when I came, I was so immersed with UTech that having come back home, I still don't know Kingston, because I just stayed here, right? But we have moved on. We're not just Papine campus. We have a School of Public Health and Health Technology on Slipen Road. Our dental school is on Arthur Wint Drive next to the Bustamante Hospital for children. We have a small site in Ocho Rios for UTechOpen, and we also have a site on the western side of the island in Montego Bay on Barnett Street and Dome Street. And those provide not all our programs, but quite a significant number of them are there. But Minister, I want to end by saying that your university, our university, is transforming. And of course, today's launch is not about launching our transformation plan, but I will give you a preview, a glance, because UTech is on a reset agenda. A reset is not just a definition, it's an acronym that we are going to bring to life over the next 10 years with government support and funding to transform our institution and ensure that it is not just Jamaica's national STEM university, but it is also #1 in the region and further afield. And so, Minister, for us, the R is for being research-driven. This university must solve Jamaica's problems, and we will only do that through research and innovation. We must expand access, which is why we are here, Minister, to launch UTechOpen, because we're not just the university that you're going to pass your 5 CSECs or your 3 or 4 CAPEs and you attend. There are other Jamaicans out there who, beyond the standard 5 CSECs and 4 CAPEs or 3 CAPEs, want a university education, can successfully complete a university education. They just need a pathway, right? And so UTechOpen will create that pathway. And some of us even deserve a second chance. So if on your first sitting you didn't pass the CSEC, you can come to UTechOpen and it will be another second chance to pursue university. So expanding access is important. And Minister knows, because the first thing the Prime Minister said to me last year is, we need more engineers, right? So we have to expand access, we have to grow the numbers here. We intend to be more student-centered, and I see the students smiling. But we will achieve it. We will become a center of excellence for student service, right? That's the journey we're going to go on. We will be entrepreneurial, because as much as I lobby the minister for more money, it's slow in coming. So we will have to be an entrepreneurial university and identify various pathways to enhancing our commercial income. And at the same time, Minister, we are big on ensuring our students are entrepreneurial. So every student at UTech does an entrepreneurship module, right? So then we're not preparing them just to go and find a job. We're preparing them to also create their own. And finally, Minister, we intend to be technology-focused. Technology-focused in every way, in every facet of this campus, and we intend to expose our students to the state of the art so that they are future-proof. We don't just let them out and then when they go in industry, they are meeting equipment or technology that they have not met at UTech. Now, I know Minister is thinking, okay, how is he going to pay for that? And so we're going to have to go on a journey, Minister, government, private sector, the alumni, friends of UTech. Everyone is going to have to play their part in funding our university to achieve the reset agenda. But I tell you, if we can achieve this, then Jamaica will not only be known for tourism, it will not only be known for reggae music and many other stereotypes out there, athletics. It will be known for having a highly educated workforce. And if we can achieve that, we will develop this nation. And Minister Williams gets it. That's the good news. So we are working in partnership to achieve this. So thank you all. Enjoy the launch. And I look forward to some of you signing up to some of these UTechOpen courses in the future. I can see some professionals here who may want to top up on their skill sets. So you'll learn more about UTechOpen, of course, as we proceed. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. I was a little concerned that perhaps people thought we were rebranding the University of Technology Jamaica to UTechOpen, but I think you made it clear. We have 8 major academic units we call faculties and colleges, and we're adding to it a new school referred to as UTechOpen, and it means that there is no more any barrier. Thank you, President. We love your enthusiasm and the spirit that you brought from when you were a student. And for those of you who don't know, he was president of the Students' Union while he was here. I won't say he was an activist, but he was very interested in student welfare and still is. We're going to have greetings from 3 very important persons who we are very pleased have joined us today. And the first will be from the Honorable Favour William, MP, Minister of Education and Youth, followed by Mr. Mark Golding, MP, Leader of the Opposition, followed by Ambassador Rocky Mead, Permanent Secretary, Office of the Prime Minister. Minister, thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Awesome. Let me begin by acknowledging the moderator. Thank you for spicing it up this afternoon. MP Mark Golding, Leader of the Opposition. Welcome to UTech. Welcome to the constituency of St. Andrew Eastern. Pro-Chancellor McNabb and members of the University Council, Mr. Rocky Mead, Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Dr. Kevin Brown, President. I don't have to say where, just President. Mr. Courtney Campbell, Chief Executive Officer, Victoria Mutual Group, Miss Walsh from the Student Loan Bureau. Where are you, Miss Walsh? Right there, yes, an important entity in the educational landscape. Thank you for being responsive to the needs of our students. Deans, faculty members and staff, students, members of the media. Miss Universe? Yes. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is a special and historic occasion in the life of the University of Technology, Jamaica, with the launch of UTechOpen, a school for pre-university, lifelong learning, and professional development programs. This, for me, is a significant achievement and one that will have a life-changing impact on the students who will enroll here. Therefore, I must pause here to applaud you, Mr. President, and your team for your insightful intuitiveness and your vision, not just for this institution, but for Jamaica as a whole. Today, we mark not just the opening of a new arm of UTech, but the beginning of a transformative journey. This campus, along with the other locations that you mentioned, President, stand as a beacon of your commitment to education and the belief in the power of continuous personal and professional growth. It symbolizes a future where learning never ceases, where every challenge is an opportunity, and where every individual is empowered to reach their fullest potential. We know that the world is changing rapidly, so the ability to adapt and grow is not just a valuable asset, it is a necessity. The landscape of work and life is changing faster than ever before. The mission of UTechOpen to expand access to higher education for a diverse range of learners aligns perfectly with the Government of Jamaica's goal to widen educational pathways. And I'm sure many of you may remember 3 years ago, the launch of the Sixth Form Pathways program to give opportunities to students, not just the best and the brightest, which we continue to honor and applaud, but also those who, for whatever reason, did not make it there on time. They learn differently, they learn at a different pace. We want to create opportunities for them as well. And that program has been very successful. At the last count, maybe some 24,000 students enrolled in the Sixth Form Pathways program, opening up opportunities. And I'm sure many of those will make their way here to UTech as well. The focus of UTechOpen on STEM courses is, of course, commendable, as STEM education is recognized as a transformative tool in shaping and preparing a globally competitive workforce capable of driving economic growth and addressing societal challenges. We believe in the power of education, not only as a transformative tool, but we also believe that it is a basic, fundamental human right for every fellow Jamaican. And so we are doing all we can at the Ministry of Education and Youth to support all our entities, UTech included, in whatever way we can, because we recognize the value of education. And so when Beryl damaged over 300 schools, you can imagine how we felt in the sector, and I'm sure across Jamaica as well. But we set about restoring because we knew that by September 2nd, we had to have our children back in school again. And I am extremely delighted to report that as of yesterday, only 2 schools did not have students back because they were completing the construction, and just because of how it was situated, they couldn't bring students back into the face-to-face environment just yet, but we're expecting everyone to be back next Monday. There were other schools that were not fully back in the face-to-face, but they used, the online facility and so on. And as you know, traditionally our high schools tend to stagger students back. So I know Monday we went to JC, and it was their first formers that were back on Monday, and it was such a lovely sight to see, because it gives you a glimpse into the future of where we're heading as a country. We're also ensuring that we de-shift all of our primary and high schools that are still on shift. And when I took office, we had 38. I'm proud to say now we're down to 27. Just this week, we took Ocho Rios Primary School off a shift. And yes, and we have 2 more that we're certain of to come off shift by the end of this year, or well before the end of this year. Bridgeport High School in St. Catherine, and our very own Papine High School. Yeah! Of course, nothing that we do in education we can do without the support of the budget support from central government. And I know in particular, as we look back over the last 8 weeks and what we were able to do in terms of bringing our schools back online, certainly if we did not have the kind of good, sound macroeconomic policies that put in place, disaster recovery plans with lots of layers of financial instruments, we could not have done what we did. So sound, good macroeconomic policies matter, because that is what translates into benefits on the ground to all Jamaicans. And I want to say what we're witnessing here today is also good, sound policy at UTech, that persons in decades to come will look back and say the management of the day put in place good, sound policy. So yes, you can applaud for that. So I want to, again, just express my gratitude to the UTech family for the foresight, for launching this UTechOpen to encourage lifelong learning, which is something we have been doing as well at the ministry, but as we get more of our institutions talking about it, demonstrating what it is, I'm sure lots of Jamaicans will begin to see the benefit of lifelong learning. So thank you so much, Pro-Chancellor, President, sponsors, students, staff, everyone. Thank you so much for the work that you do. Continue to do the good work, continue to encourage our children to log on to education, continue to show them the virtues of it, so that they too will grow up and take their place in institutions like UTech. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much, Minister, for your remarks. Pro-Chancellor, I know him as a baller. Right? Used to watch him doing it for Boys Town and Jamaica. Ali McNabb, President Brown, see you've landed on your feet and you have a lot on your plate, but it's looking good, so keep it up. P.S. Boy, that's a new hat. Good to see you again, sir. Yes, our newly minted Royal Highness. Congratulations, Miss Jamaica Universe. And Courtney, good to see you always. And I don't think, be able to stay for the full duration today because I have to go far for an event in North Clarendon. But, you know, you and I have dialogue from time to time, so I know what your thoughts are on crucial matters affecting our nation. Mr. Master of Ceremonies, thank you for your work here today. All distinguished guests, members of faculty, students, staff, ancillary and otherwise, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to first thank UTech for thinking of inviting me to this event. It took me somewhat by surprise, but it was a pleasure to be here. It is a pleasure to be here. And MP, I'm born and grew in your constituency. So I was here first. Yes, Ms. McIntosh, congratulations on what you're doing here with the launch of this new school within the UTech universe, the UTechOpen. It has been said it's a rebranding, but it's more than just a rebranding. I think it's adopting a new vision, launching a new vision, one that is fit for purpose for the times we're living in and for what's to come. And it's very important to be forward-thinking in this era in particular because the world is going through such rapid change. You know, the forces at work, geopolitical forces, technology, communications, reshaping values and attitudes, norms, climate change affecting how we live our daily lives and the challenges we face on this very vulnerable island on which we live. And international trends. In tertiary education, universities are under pressure across the world. You know, if you keep abreast of these things, you will see that there's a lot being written on this where, you know, financial and other pressures are coming to bear on tertiary institutions. So in order to survive and thrive, you have to be looking ahead. You have to stay ahead of the curve, you have to be forward thinking, and you have to be innovative. And you are operating in a very resource-constrained environment. You know, we've seen some of the numbers per student that you get, and so on. And it's indeed remarkable what you're able to maintain and achieve with what you have. And I commend you for that. But this initiative here, focusing on giving people access to relevant education, whether it be almost remedial education in a sense where, you know, people who have maybe tried before, weren't ready for it, were facing other challenges, didn't get the basic school qualifications, are able to come and have another go at that. You're facilitating that to a range of skill sets that are required by our evolving economy. You know, you are tailoring this within your capacities, I'm sure, for delivering a range of options. You're tailoring this to make it relevant to what is required by Jamaicans and Jamaica on our developmental path. So it's exciting to see what you're doing. It's exciting to see that the institution is adapting in this environment to deal with what is to come. And I commend you wholeheartedly for this. I've seen the range of activities, courses, etc., that are on the program that you will be offering. And, you know, they're bracketed under 4 headings, you know, 4 categories: pre-university program, 6th form STEM pathway program, and UTech and J entry program. And then you have corporate training and management and leadership and marketing and sales, things around business and business analytics. And then you have short courses for STEM and professional short courses, career development, entrepreneurship, and innovation. And then you have a list of important skills, tech skills, including things like drone technology. There's a lot to learn on that, I'm sure. You know, military and otherwise, civilian. And of course, the era of artificial intelligence will fit into what you're doing in areas like robotics and data science. Artificial intelligence is here as well. So you've given this a lot of thought. And you know, I think it's very important that you do adapt in this way, because the traditional approaches to delivering tertiary education in a rapidly changing world are going to come under pressures of one sort or another. But the people's need to learn, people's need to reinvent themselves, to adjust, and to acquire knowledge and skills that they don't currently have, but that they need to get ahead in life, that is not going to change. What is required in any given instance will change, but the need for it will remain. And by having an accessible portal, UTechOpen, by having that in place, you're assuring the relevance of UTech to the wider society. And you know, Jamaica suffers from deficits in our human capital development, and it's what is perhaps holding us back more than anything else. You know, we have done tremendous work as a nation over the last 12 years, fixing our macroeconomic and fiscal management. You know, we understand that very well. We've sacrificed long and hard for getting our debt under control, and we are respected internationally for that. And you know, I think we should give ourselves a collective pat on the back for having made that happen, and that's work across administrations that has brought us to that place. But we're still in a very low growth economy, and we hear, and we've been saying this, and others have been repeating it, that we're a low growth, low skills, low tech economy. And UTech, as the central institution focusing on STEM, as you put it today, tertiary institution, has a very central role in the transformation of Jamaica's fortunes from where we are, where we're only able to deliver very paltry levels of growth, despite all the sacrifices that we've made, and despite our debt to GDP ratio now, being down in the 70s, coming from 140 odd. Basically we've halved that in a relatively short space of time, around 1 decade, which is remarkable. But we're still not seeing the economy take off. We just published the quarterly results from PIOJ for the quarter leading up to burial, pre-burial, and we basically didn't grow. It was 0.1% growth. Very disappointing, I'm sure, for the government and for everybody, because we really, having gone through what we've gone through with the various IMF programs and the work that was done, everyone, I think, was expecting Jamaica's economy to take off. And it's not that we haven't seen investment. We've had substantial investment, especially in tourism, but in other areas as well, and that is continuing. But the human capital, the efficiency of our workforce, our management teams, these are the areas where we're lacking. And institutions like yours are absolutely critical in the conversion of that. Partnerships are going to be essential. I would just recommend that the intensification of efforts to forge partnerships with any stakeholders that can add value or where you can add value to them, the private sector in particular, but not just limited to them, so that they can provide you with also a range of resources and access, and you can provide them with everything that you have to offer. And that will help us to build value. We have to take Jamaica up the value chain. We have to become a country which generates wealth for its people. We cannot be a third of the GDP per capita of our leading peers in the region, who started more or less where we were, and they have gone ahead in terms of delivering wealth to their people. We have to address that. And I think UTech has a very critical role to play, and I think you're on the right path in launching a school like this to fulfilling your developmental obligations as a leading institution of learning in the country. I thank you again for inviting me, and I say to you, President and Chancellor, Ms. McIntosh, best of luck, make it work, and I'm sure it will. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremonies. MP Mark Golden, Leader of the Opposition, Minister Faber Williams, Minister of Education and Youth, Ali McNabb, Pro-Chancellor, Dr. Kevin Brown, President, Ms. Makish Walsh, the Executive Director of Students' Loan Bureau, Mr. Courtney Campbell, CEO of VM, the Vice President and Registrar, Ms. Marian Brown, Dr. Sophia McIntosh, Head of the UTechOpen, Ms. Silvera, other members of the faculty, students, and distinguished guests, good afternoon. It's a privilege to represent the Office of the Prime Minister here for a number of reasons. So while I can't, unfortunately, claim to be an alumni, I can certainly celebrate having had a chance to serve the university as a member of the council. And it's, I'm very pleased to be back to see the development. Education is very important to me. Those who know a little bit about me know that notwithstanding what I tend to be recognized for publicly, I actually did, research in education, looking at, the Jamaican language and how that applies. So education is very important to me. I also led the startup of a tertiary institution within my previous responsibility. So this is really important to me. This, for me, is a part of the continued evolution of humanity and our part in it. So all species seek to develop and not just perpetuate itself, but to develop. You go through infancy and youth, and then you become mature. And so Jamaica, in relation to that, we are hoping to be a developed country one day, to become an adult country one day. And digitalization of the society is important, not as a fancy tech thing, but as a core foundation to functioning in the new environment. To understand why that is important, we need to know where we're coming from as humanity. So we started out at a stage where we were surviving just like animals, and then we discovered language, and we had an oral culture, and then we discovered literacy. And then we got mechanized and then automation. Why is that important? So when literacy just came about, and there's debate as to how many thousands of years ago, as it evolved, it was a specialist skill. I don't know if you know that, but you would have within a community, within a village, probably one person who was literate. And if you wanted to write a letter, you literally had to pay that person as the skilled person who was literate. Sending a love letter to someone, you had to go tell this one person who was literate to write it and send. If you wanted a book, literally a manuscript was someone literally writing the entire book and making a copy. A 6-month job to copy a book. And now, literacy is something that we expect every single human being to possess the skill for. It started as a specialist skill. So where we're going as we seek to become an adult society is where digitalization, while it is a specialist skill now and we cannot pay the people who are technically competent, where we're going is that it's going to become a natural foundation and infrastructure that everyone will be skilled to function in the digital environment. That's where we want to go. The other thing that's important is that with the advent of AI, that can do a lot of the hard work. In the same way that the calculator can do calculation, we can focus our energies on other things. AI is going to also be very useful to not take away jobs from us, but to enable us to apply our brains to greater stuff by using the power of AI. And so we need a lot of knowledge that can be applied to making humanity better. And that is why STEM is important. And President, that is why I like the focus of saying maths and English is not the foundation anymore. It is basically knowledge that you can apply and you layer on anything else you want to do to that. So I really am pleased about this effort. I was also a part of the Heart Board. So you can see where my energies are. I think what UTechOpen is trying to do is excellent in that you have identified the importance of STEM. You have identified the importance of no one being left behind, finding a pathway, and you are going to use all modalities. And although you mentioned the online modality as an afterthought, based on my reading of your stuff, I suspect the reason you say UTechOpen is that it's probably going to become your primary modality. And I think that's a good way to go. I must say that I'm really very pleased to see the level of representation. The fact that we have the Minister of Education here herself and the Leader of the Opposition. I think, President, you know that there'll be continuity for the rest of the existence of UTech, irrespective of what the political fortunes are. And I think that's important for you to know that you have support across the board. So I am very pleased. My job is to support and enable policy. And I am really very happy that getting us towards a digitalized society is such an important mandate and that I can focus my energies in supporting that. Congratulations again, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to the Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, and the Permanent Secretary. We have strong endorsement for this important move by our university. Thank you very much. We are inspired and very hopeful. I gather that the Queen among us, Queen Rachel, will have to leave shortly. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, and you have made the UTech community so very proud. We expect you to come home with the Miss Universe title. Is she already wearing the sash? So congrats. The Students' Loan Bureau plays a very important role, particularly for UTech students. I think, well, I don't want to say what you will say, I think. On top of that, the SLB is the main sponsor for this event. And so we are very pleased to have them. So it is my pleasure to welcome, to bring words from our sponsor, Ms. Nikisha Walsh, the Executive Director of the SLB. Welcome her, please.
Mr. Mark Golden, Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Favour Williams, MP, Minister of Education and Youth, Dr. Kevin Brown, President of UTech, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, could I say that? No. Good afternoon, good afternoon. It is indeed my pleasure to be a sponsor of the launch of UTechOpen School of Lifelong Learning and Professional Development. Now, before I get into it, I stand here as a proud graduate of the University of Technology and also a beneficiary of the Students' Loan Bureau. So I am a proof, to talk about the proof in the pudding. So the SLB has been around for approximately 53 years, and to date, we would have assisted over 260,000 students to pursue higher education, and we would have disbursed approximately $57 billion in loans. So definitely, we believe in higher education, and we do believe in developing the youth for the future. So when Dr. Brown approached me about this initiative, I was so pleased with the direction the university is going, because when we're analyzing the numbers at SLB, we too recognize that things are changing. Persons no longer want to do 3 to 4 years, in the university. Persons want shorter term courses. Persons want, something in 18 months to 2 years. They want other educational opportunities. So the SLB, in our 5-year plan, is also transitioning in lending or to fund persons who are pursuing short-term course. And that is why I'm delighted to partner with the university. So we are developing a product for short-term courses, and we are looking to align interest rate and repayment terms that will be beneficial to our students. But outside of that, I just want to touch on the SLB 3 products that we currently offer. Our targeted product, that is product that students take when they're in school, and they have a moratorium period before they go into repayment. But I want to look at the PACE product. This is a product that we have developed over the years, and it's something that is not mentioned, and we're doing something to kind of roll out a campaign for this. This product is pay as you study. So this can be tailored for the parents. Some parents don't want their student to take out a loan, and they can afford to pay for it while they're in school. This product is one of the products that is, those hidden gems, and we want to make it more out there for persons to know. This is a product where the interest rate is as low as 6% per annum. So if you want to take a loan for your student or for your child, then this is a product tailored for the students. And for those students who are, want to talk about lifelong learning, or who are working and want to go back to the institution, this is a product that we have tailored for our audience. So we want to make access affordable, and we want to make sure that students have the opportunity. So outside of the traditional product, the PACE product is also aligned with your lifelong program. And then we have the postgrad product that deals with persons who are doing postgraduate studies. But I want to touch on the short-term courses that UTech is now offering. What we'd have done is to tailor the PACE product, pay as you earn, where we lend approximately up to $600,000 at an interest rate of 6%. So persons who want to do the STEM within 10 months, 1 year, 16 months, 2 years, this is a product that they can take. And I'm assured there's no financial institution, sorry, Mr. Courtney, that offers 6% interest in terms of funding education, and SLB is pleased to offer this product to our students. So there's no interest rate unbeatable like this, and you can have 1 to 5 years for repayment. So I'm excited today to say that SLB will be launching this soon in alignment to UTech's lifelong learning program. Also want to mention about the STEM program. STEM is a critical and one of the buzzwords that is in the space where persons want to pursue. And I hear that UTech now is a STEM university, which I'm happy because I did get that practical training when I was attending UTech, and that assisted me greatly in the profession of accounting. So this is something I'm proud of in terms of UTech, and I'm happy that this is the direction that you're going in terms of all your programs. So congratulations to UTech for that. So SLB has partnered with the Ministry of Finance to offer up to $2.5 billion in funding for persons who are enrolled in a STEM program at the University of Technology. So we'll be giving scholarship for approximately 2.5 in 5 years. So SLB is partnering and aligning ourselves for higher education. And also, when you apply for a targeted loan, the SLB also will give for persons who are PATH, Ward of the State, or in a low-income household, $60,000 in granting aid for persons who are in this institution. So definitely we are looking to revamp interest rate, looking to revamp access rate, to revamp the products to tailor for today's need. Also, before I continue, I want to reinforce the special benefits that SLB have. Many times persons will say SLB is just about repayment and collection, but there are so many benefits. One of the benefits that I want to highlight today is the fact that SLB gives a 2% discount in interest rate for students who are in school once they maintain a 2.5 GPA and above, and also you get a 2% discount in interest rate once you are current in your repayment. So we are looking at ways to ensure that you do access. There is also a 1% interest rate reduction for students whose parents are employed in the public sector. So once you apply and you identify that your parent is in the public sector, your interest rate automatically reduces by 1%. And then I said before, we also have STEM and other programs that we offer a reduction in interest rate. So all the STEM programs, the normal interest rate is 7.8, in moratorium, 9.5 in repayment, but for STEM, it is 6% while in school and after you graduate. So we are aligning ourselves for STEM. Now, SLB, we don't want to just be seen as the institution that lend and, talk about repayment, and we want to show that we are here to change your dreams or to put your dreams into reality. We want to work with students. We want to ensure that education continues, not just in school, but even after you graduate. One of the challenges that we are having in society is the fact that persons no longer see the need for education. They're taking the shorter route. But I can tell you, an education will last wherever you go, whatever path you choose. We don't want to align or to target just the traditional educational journeys, but anything that you want to become. SLB is aligning ourselves to ensure that you have the opportunity to do any career choice. And I'm happy UTech, again, with these programs that are underpinning the mark that you don't have to do it the traditional way, but there are other avenues, and any avenue that you need to take one so you can better yourself. So SLB is here. I've been here for 53 years. We're looking to revamp our system. One of the things that we're coming out with is the launch of our technology platform, where students and beneficiaries can go on the platform, generate your statements, make payments on your account, track your account without having to call the SLB. So we are currently trying to roll out that by the end of the financial year, so we have more access to information, to critical information. Another presentation we're coming in with today, we have launching our financial literacy program, because we know many times persons just want to talk about getting the loan, but do you know how to manage the loan? Do you know the best tricks to kind of pay off your loan? So we want to educate our students for their future, because financial literacy is a part of lifelong learning. So we want to have value-added products and services to serve the current needs of today. So thank you for allowing us to partner with you, because your vision is a shared vision, and this is the vision of our country. Thanks much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Walsh. That's all about access. And when our students are making their moves of faith, right, Nicholas? And they apply to UTech, and they don't have a clue how they're going to fund it. We're happy for the access that the SLB is providing. And you didn't mention that you have removed the requirement for guarantors, which is a really very important one. Thank you very much. Now at UTech, Dr. Brown, there is an A in how we spell STEM because the arts is also very important to us. And we have an Actor Boy awardee who directs the Center for the Arts. Where is Mr. Clark? The gentleman around the back holding down his head. When he's acting, he doesn't hold his head down, though. And some of us escaped to the Center for the Arts on a Tuesday, 6 to 9 p.m. to play steel pan. And it really is perhaps part of the reason we can survive the demands of university. But I invite you to relax just for a little bit of entertainment. We have a member of the UTech choir who will sing for us, You Say, by Lauren Daigle. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. And please welcome Miss Shantae Brown from the Center for the Arts.
Good afternoon, everyone. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low?
Thank you, Shante. Beautiful. We will now have a video presentation followed by an introduction of UTechOpen by the director of UTechOpen, Dr. Sophia McIntosh, followed by a presentation by Dr. Diane Graham, who is the program director for industrial and mechanical engineering in our Faculty of Engineering. Dr. Graham will present on UTechOpen's role in bridging the K-12 gap for STEM education. So, Dr. McIntosh, do you come to the podium now? Please welcome Dr. McIntosh.
Prof? Okay, great. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see everyone here today. Thank you for coming. So before I begin my presentation, I just want to say that I adhere to the protocol that has already been established. So let's move on. So an overview of UTechOpen. And I just want to give some background, right? So as Dr. Brown said, UTechOpen, formerly UTech Academy, was established in 2009, approved by governance in 2010. What was the mandate then? And that is still the mandate, is to increase access. So we, at that time, as I said, the vision was to provide alternative pathways to higher education. We had a wide reach in 2009. We had a campus in Trelawney, Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, and Pepin, and we still have Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, and Pepin. And the results of that vision, strategic vision, is that we had student matriculation in different programs: pharmacy, nursing, engineering, FELS, and School of Business Administration. Several customized courses, and you will see the agencies and country we partnered with in providing short course training. UTechOpen today, so that's just a little history. So we were UTech Academy. UTechOpen today, under the leadership of our president, Dr. Kevin Brown. So when Dr. Brown came, he said, had a meeting with me, and he said, Miss McIntosh, so I was Miss McIntosh at the time, so they now call me Dr. McIntosh, right? He said, had a meeting and a difficult conversation, and he said, we need to reset because the environment has changed. So at the time, the focus was looking at foundation courses to help students, and particularly high school students, to matriculate in our programs. But he said the environment has changed, and as such, your unit, you have to reset. And he said to me, be prepared to come and make a presentation to me and my team, how you plan to do that. Start to tremble, but I say, okay, I get a mandate and I get a directive, I have to do it. So Dr. Brown, I'm here today, sir, and I'm a steward, and I am fulfilling your mandate, sir, and thank you for the support. So we have had a lot of consultative sessions internally and externally. Why is it that we need to reset? And I'm just going to give you a strategic context. And if you look at the recent passes, you would realize, my friends and colleagues, that when you look at our passes in CXCs, they continue to decline, right? And we are conscious of that. Minister, we are aware of your trend agenda. We have been doing a lot of reading on what the government is doing. and the national development goals, and as the national university, what is our role? We have to be responsive, and we have to align with the vision of the country to ensure that we help our country to develop. And Mr. Golden spoke about it. All of us have a role to play, and we have to now operate, and there has to be synergy. This is our Jamaica. Dr. Brown said it, this is FIWI Jamaica, and we have to ensure that all of us play our part. And the University of Technology Jamaica, we are playing our part to ensure that we are aligned with the national development goals of our country. Less than 30% of our population is enrolled in higher education. That is a cause for concern. Misalignment with market. And when you look at the report, the Education Transformation Report, it is consistent. There is a misalignment. So corporate is saying, when these students leave and they come to us, not our UTech students, there's a misalignment, and we take note of that. When you look at how many students exit high school, there's a shortage of skilled labor in various industries. 722,000 Jamaicans remain outside of the workforce, unattached youth. I was at a function hosted by the Ministry of Labor, and a frightening thing that was said, and it was echoed by most of the presenters, is that we have 60% of our population that is unskilled. That is a cause for concern for everybody. Everybody in this room must be concerned. And that is why we are here today, so that, and Mr. Golding said it, corporate, we want your support, because the government can't do it alone. It has to be a holistic approach to the development of our country, and we all have to be concerned and serious about partnering to ensure that our national agenda, we meet those objectives. We continue to miss our targets, and the day today is now for it to stop. We will ensure that our targets are met, our education goals are met. There's an urgent need to embrace lifelong learning. Who is in agreement? Can you have a degree from 1960s, from when Johnny was a boy, and you are comfortable with those skills now? No. So we have to have a culture of lifelong learning. It has to be in our DNA. It doesn't matter your level of education, even if it's a PhD, even if it's a DBA, it doesn't matter. It is very important for lifelong learning to be part of our culture. Do you agree with me? Yes. And not be afraid to learn. Have a learning mind. We learn every day. I learn every day, and look for an opportunity to learn. It doesn't matter from who, because I don't know everything, right? So we're looking at the strategic context for UTechOpen and the mandate from my boss to reset, right? Government support. So we're getting government support for the sixth form pathway, and I'm so happy to hear the wonderful thing student loan, will be rolling out, and what student loan continues to do. Right. Credential stacking, worldwide credential stacking. If you look at UCJ and their standards, credential stacking is something that they're very important. They're focused on that now. Globally, credential stacking is critical. And Minister and Mr. Golden, you said it, that we have to respond to the needs of our society. And we realize that some students, no longer you want to go for a 4-year degree, a 5-year or a 7-year. I started my doctorate from 2017. I just finished. Who wants to stay in a program that long? Not a lot of persons. Would you agree? Right. So we need to build human capacity. And we have heard that before, previous speakers spoke about that. Borderless competition. You see a lot of entities coming and they're taking over our market, and we have to ensure that we respond to the needs. Okay, so I've just given you the strategic context, why we need to respond, and the importance of UTechOpen at this time. So what is our role? And President said it. We have to provide innovative and expanded access to learning. And we're looking at Jamaica, the region, and elsewhere. It's not just in Jamaica, right? And we have to use the technology. That's the age we're in now, is to use the technology to ensure that we have expanded access. We have to respond, and I'm going to just come over here. Respond to the training and development needs of organizations. When you look at the Education Transformation Report, there is a common, it is, every time I read that report, I keep seeing and reading in the newspapers also that when students leave, they don't have the skills. Now, being a part of this noble institution, that bothers me. And whether it's a perception or it's the reality, it bothers me. And I have this urgency and I have this enthusiasm to ensure that we pay attention to what is being said because, and Dr. Brown keeps saying it, competition, and we can't stop competitors from coming here if it is that we are not meeting the needs of our people and our organizations. Other universities will come and do it for us. So that is our role. We have to respond to the needs of people within communities, and we have to help them to matriculate into our programs, and that is why we have our foundation courses, right? Facilitate credit banking, offer a package of foundation courses. And I'm going to show you some of our foundation courses. So if students did not pass their CXCs, there is another pathway. We have foundation courses, and they are alternative to CXCs that students can take, and that will allow them to matriculate into other programs, right? And we spoke about increased access to lifelong learning. So UTech Academy became the School of Lifelong Learning and Professional Development in April 2024. And now we are the 9th academic unit. Clap us, man, the 9th academic unit at the university. The school is a conduit for introducing the established faculty short courses to distant locations. And look at that, I spoke about that. What did I say? That whatever we are doing at UTech, it must align with what? The national agenda. So our lenses must remain focused on the national agenda in everything that we do. So the school operates as an open learning access entity, serving the needs of communities across Jamaica, utilizing a range of modalities. Learners with limited access to higher education, UTechOpen is the place for you. So, who is our target? So, Mr. Golden, earlier you said it's like a remedial. It's more than that, sir. So we have different target groups. So one target group, we have students exiting at 5th form. And if they don't have all their CXCs, then they can enroll and do our foundation courses. And we call those foundation courses our pre-university courses. Experienced professionals, typically in leadership or management, who have professional developmental needs, and also professionals in the workforce who require upskilling and reskilling. And that is something that I know the government is pushing very hard, is upskilling and reskilling. And at the end of this launch, everyone in this room must inquire about our short courses to upskill and reskill. Can I hear amen? Okay, you must clap. Oh, that sounds lousy, so amen. Thank you. So our program offerings. So we have 4 units. UTech Academy, and on the UTech Academy, that's where we have our pre-university courses, and we have expressed an interest to participate in the 6th Form Pathways program. UTech Executive Education, corporate training, management and leadership, marketing and sales, professional studies, and tech skills programs. And let me tell you something, the persons who we have delivering these programs, They are experts in their fields. And when I talk to past students, why did they attend UTech? You know what they said to me? Your lecturers, them know them stuff. It's not just theory, them know them stuff. Another thing, colleagues and friends, we're partnering with universities overseas and other professional bodies internationally. So we're not just giving a local experience. And one of the things I must share with you, with our president, and President, I keep calling you because I'm sharing with them sometimes the pressure that you put me under and my unit. So wherever President Brown goes and he meets someone who is interested in partnering, doing a short course, he gives me their contact information. He gives them my contact information and say, call Miss McIntosh. Yes, and speak to her. And then he will say to me, have you heard from so-and-so? What is the update? Constantly. Right now we're in discussions with cybersecurity, an international company, to do some training. I'm not going to let the secret out because I'll give my president the chance to do that. So we are partnering with international universities and agencies to provide that kind of leadership because we don't take it for granted that all the skills are in Jamaica or at UTech. So we are looking outside also. So you must remember what we offer here. Pre-university courses, professional short courses, executive education, and associate degrees. These are some of the foundation courses under our pre-university arm, where we offer, as I said, if students in the high school, they were not successful with their CXCs, they can enroll and do these foundation courses. This is our flyer. These associate degrees are expression of interest in the Sixth Form Pathways program. These are some of the degrees with the assistance of the deans that we will be rolling out. And I'm telling you, we have a great team here. And when we said that we were going to introduce the Sixth Form Pathways program, all the deans, and I must applaud the deans for working with UTechOpen. Thank you very, very much. And this is their commitment. This is what they say to me that they're, and if you look at it, you realize that it's across different disciplines, right? And this is our intention. We have the associate degree currently in business administration. Some of our short courses, some of our strategic initiatives. We have been doing a lot of marketing. We have been partnering with private and public sectors to ensure that we fulfill our mandate, right? And when we leave here, I'm hoping, Mr. Campbell and other persons from corporate, that we get your full support, and we need the finance, and the president spoke about it, and I'm just endorsing what he just said. So our position is not to compete with our faculties or other academic units. It's to partner with them to strengthen the impact of UTech, it's one UTech, in building capacity across various industries. And that is our vision at UTechOpen. I have to big up TIP because we had and we have a representative here. We just delivered a supervisor management course. And one of the speakers before me said something, I think it's Ambassador, said when students leave now, they must leave with a degree or some kind of certification to do something. It is not just to get it and hold it up or put it in a drawer and say, I have a degree, so what? What can you do? And my colleague, Dr. Graham, is going to probably touch on some of the skills that are required now in this day and age that businesses require to help solve their problems. It's not just to have a degree and boast and then you can't think independently, you can't work in teams, you can't self-reflect. Those are some of the things an independent learner, critical thinking is very important, and it is lacking. And that is something, as my president said, when you do a course at UTech, more so UTechOpen, when you leave, you can do something with it to solve a problem, whether in an organization or your own business. So tip, thank you very much. So concluding, my conclusion is that UTechOpen School of Lifelong Learning and Professional Development remains committed to what? We are stimulating action among target groups that lifelong learning is important for increased skills, productivity, economic, social, and cultural resilience, right? And I've spoke about the partnerships already with private and public sectors in the delivery of our professional development courses. What is our mission? Our mission is to build lifelong capacity nationally, regionally, and globally through STEM learning that empowers students to become entrepreneurial and intrapreneurial. Our vision is to be the premier STEM school of continuing education and professional development in Jamaica, the region, and the world. For this to work, we need everybody's support, and we need money to get it going. And we can do it. Partner with us, please. It's a win-win for everybody. Our locations. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Dr. McIntosh. All protocols being already observed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin the soliloquy that my colleague Dr. McIntosh gave in respect of hands being laid on her suddenly and heavily defines my involvement in this moment, and I'll give you a brief soliloquy myself. It was the 27th of February, 2021, when my dean, Professor Sean Thorpe, called me and he said, in his usual vivacious and excited, 2023, sorry, yes. He said in his usual manner, Damien, we need to do something about STEM. We need to get the university STEMified, and we need to get some scholarships, man. I said, but how are we going to do that, Prof? He said, the chancellor has a mandate, and we have to get something done. So we knocked heads together in the faculty, and initially we came up with the STEM scholarships. And last year, this time around, we were in this room celebrating an August moment of having the first set of scholarships. And we will be here again, yes, because it lasts for a period of 10 years. Well, when Dr. Brown came in, he called me as well, and he said, Dr. Graham, I heard that we have these scholarships, but we need to change something on how we are funding ourselves. What is our answer for broadly getting the STEMification done? And I said, well, we thought about that when we were, as a faculty, looking at what FENC could do for the rest of the university. And so as the president said that, he said, you have to come and do a presentation at my next executive meeting on Monday. And prior to that, I had seen Sophia at the time, Dr. McIntosh, and I said, Sophia, we need to sit and knock heads, because there's an opportunity that I think UTech Academy could participate in. The rest is history, because Dr. Brown twinned us as the twin axle to make sure we get the UTechOpen project implemented. In today's rapidly evolving global economy, the demand for highly skilled professionals in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields is on the rise. However, the access to higher education in Jamaica, particularly between grades 10 and 13 level and tertiary institutions, remain limited. This has resulted in the creation of an unattached and uneducated youth, hindering the nation's social and economic progress. To bridge this gap, we have to pave a pathway for a brighter future and establishing strong linkages between institutions like the Hart NSTA, City and Guilds, and institutions like UTech Jamaica through UTechOpen to make sure that UTech is achieving its mandate as Jamaica's national STEM university as a center for educators and technology. UTech therefore must adopt its curriculum to accommodate low-trained vocational and co-op educational institutions, enabling them to reach higher skilled workforces and propelling them forward in Jamaica's economy. To advance this idea further, we must critically assess what are some of the gaps in our current educational system and our institutions of learning that will allow the germination and development of this transformation. In the context of the Jamaica policy, and my colleague mentioned the trend agenda, we must ask ourselves some critical questions. What is the state of higher education in Jamaica? How are the actors for institutional linkages being created? And have the determinants of the system and subsystems that are mapped to anchor the industries that will give national economic growth? At present, many talented individuals in Jamaica face numerous barriers when trying to access higher education. Sophia mentioned earlier that 1/3 of our population, roughly, end up going into tertiary education. And it's not crazy to say that, because the last data from our CSEC grades reflect that same number as being the ones that complete passes in mathematics, right? So there's a correlation, a direct correlation between the 33% that pass CSEC math and the 30% that end up going on into tertiary education. And that's the genius of the vision that I want to commend Dr. Brown and the team of UTech for being bold. It takes a bold decision, Dr. Brown, to say we need to fix the STEM agenda across the country. So in the rest of my discourse, I'd like to just highlight some of the things that we will do to bridge that gap between tertiary and our K-12, so going all the way down into kindergarten and early childhood development. This sixth form pathway program, it represents a promising solution to get this kind of access. By bringing tertiary education down to K-12 pipeline, this program helps to provide opportunities to students who may not otherwise have pursued further studies. Without elaborating further, we're talking about persons from grades 7, 8, 9, 10 being able to immediately step in to education here at UTech. We had an entrant at 14 years old. So we are not closing our doors at any point in time to any age. As Professor said earlier, we have to also bring the A in the STEM, so we are a STEAM institution, but we will use the word STEM. On the same theme, to achieve the desired transformation, we must look at the linkages, and some of these linkages include places like Hart NSTA that focus more on skills training, City and Guilds that give us that international recognition, and those kind of partnerships are pathways that you will see on the back of your brochures. We have conceptualized as a way for we at UTech to make sure that those persons make their way all the way up to higher education at the doctoral level. Professor Thorpe highlighted in 2023 that UTech has an opportunity to look at cybersecurity, and I'm happy to say that one of the initiatives that the faculty has worked on with the law faculty is a course in cybersecurity and law. So we are answering the call, not speaking on behalf of Professor Thorpe, because I'm sure he will make those announcements in more wider fora. But we are answering the call in that respect. To meet the demands of a changing economy, UTech must therefore adapt its curriculum and embrace a more inclusive approach. I was speaking with my colleague from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Bowen, about having her son who just graduated in entrepreneurship come back to UTechOpen to sit our postgraduate certificate in business analytics and process engineering. So I'm putting her on the spot, right? The reason I'm saying that, I was mentioning to our guest speaker who will speak afterwards, Courtney, that the industrial engineering program graduates approximately 14 or 16 or thereabout every year students. At least 8 to 10 of them are picked up by the finance sector to become business analysts immediately. That is because the industrial program trains people in business analytics and process engineering. We do management of information systems, data control, big data. That's what we do. We do optimization of information systems. And so financial service places, health service places are asking for our graduates. We don't have hands to create them. And so we have expanded that program. We've included our partners in SCIT. And I'm happy to say that that program will be taking into UTechOpen to ensure that not just our other graduates and persons who want to pursue it will have access, but also professionals in Jamaica who want to go in that direction as a career. So continuous vocational learning is a key to unlocking Jamaica's potential for the untapped talent, and by offering these type of programs, certification and opportunities for upskilling and reskilling, UTech Jamaica will empower individuals from various educational backgrounds to thrive in the STEM fields. This approach recognizes that not all students follow a traditional academic path, and it emphasizes the importance of lifelong learning. Through continuous vocational learning, we can nurture a workforce that is equipped with the necessary expertise to drive growth, innovation, and progress in Jamaica's economy. Further, this approach represents a positive loop in the educational system for scaffolding the various pathways from K1 all the way to 12 pipeline. By focusing on expanding access, UTechOpen has put STEM education and training as the catalyst to activate the knowledge process outsourcing industry, among others, as has been highlighted. The ultimate goal for transforming STEM education in tertiary level is to build a highly skilled workforce that is capable of driving national growth. In the context of our current labor force demands in Jamaica, and by providing access to quality education through UTechOpen, we can aspire to meet the future demand of the 27,000 engineers that are needed. So we need 27,000 engineers based on the economies of mapping labor force. Places like Iran, the UK, etc. Roughly 3% of their population need to be highly skilled STEM trained. So that's 27,000 for us here in Jamaica. They need to be engineers, technicians, computer scientists, business analysts, etc. So in concluding, the transformation of STEM education at the tertiary level in Jamaica is crucial for creating a more inclusive and prosperous society. And by addressing the lack of higher education and embracing programs like the Sixth Form Pathway and others that have been mentioned, down to the K-12 pipeline, we can empower the unattached and uneducated youth, and in collaboration with HEART, City and Guilds, and other institutions, ensure that UTech Jamaica fills its role as the National STEM Center for Education. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Graham. My wife just sent me a text, reminded me that it's her birthday, President. I told her, log on and you will hear a special greeting. That's not what she wants, no. All right, we're going to switch the program along so the MC can get home to his wife. And we're going to see the video that we attempted to show before you spoke. And then we're going to introduce our keynote speaker. and have Mr. Campbell address us. So the video, please, it's just a short one.
I'm Christopher Jones, and I did peer support training at UTechOpen.
I currently reside overseas and been a member of the U.S. Army for the past 4 years. My associate degree from UTech has brought me to many places, leaps and bounds, and I just wanted to speak on the credibility of the institution and what the program can do for you. So once I completed my associate degree, I migrated to the United States. I went to college doing a bachelor's in human resource management from Empire State University in New York, which also accepted my transcript from UTech.
I'm a proud past student of UTechOpen, having successfully completed my associate degree in business administration with honors. Throughout my time at UTechOpen, I was able to expand my knowledge, challenge myself, and grew as an individual. The faculty I found to be very responsive and supportive to students' need. They were passionate about teaching and they encouraged critical thinking and lifelong learning. The modules were designed to provide a well-rounded educational experience, combining theoretical concepts with practical application. The hands-on experience I gained from group projects and real-world scenario allowed me to develop invaluable skills that I carried with me when I matriculated to my Bachelor of Business Administration at the University of Technology, and I'm carrying now at my final module of my MBA, having been awarded a scholarship for an international university based in the UK. My academic and professional success thus far can be attributed to the solid foundation that UTechOpen has provided me.
Leading peer support training at UTechOpen.
Oh, you're coming.
This is a serious MC, you know. Nobody gets away scot-free. Good evening, everyone. Courtney Campbell is the president and CEO of VM Group Limited and VM Financial Group Limited. Before joining VM Group, Courtney had already established an enviable record of success in several senior executive roles, including that of CEO of Grace Kennedy Financial Group. He also spent over 23 years with the National Commercial Bank, serving in various leadership positions, including head of the retail banking division and other roles instrumental to the bank's success. He holds a BSc in Management Studies from the UWI and an MBA in finance with distinction, jointly awarded by the University of Wales and Manchester Business School. He's also a member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, London. Courtney is the director of VM Group Limited, as well as VM Financial Group Limited and all its subsidiaries, as well as associate company British Caribbean Insurance Company. Courtney is a corporate champion for the UE STAT Mona campus and serves on the Governor General Jamaica Trust and the Investment Committee of the Council of World Missions. He's a former chairman of the National Education Trust. In September 2023, Courtney received the Outstanding Business Leader Award from the Mona School of Business and Management for his relentless contributions to national building and development. Courtney is married to Pauline, and they have 2 sons. That's the long introduction. I'm going to give you the short one. Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to introduce to you Mr. VM, the transformational and hard-working, innovative leader, Mr. Courtney Campbell.
Oh gosh, that was fun. It's really such a delight to be here. So I want to thank, I'm recognizing all the protocols that were observed before, but I really want to thank our president, Dr. Kevin Brown, for having invited me to share. You're doing a really wonderful job. Congratulations to you and your team for this great initiative. I also have to acknowledge our Pro-Chancellor, Mr. Ali McNabb. I was pleased to have witnessed the investiture, is the word, of both Mr. McNabb and Dr. Brown. And you know, it was a great time to be here. Congrats, Dr. McIntosh. Congrats, Dr. Damian Graham. And really want to say that, you know, it's such a privilege to have been invited to share some thoughts with you in this very important, occasion. So why, I think we need to recognize that this is indeed a major initiative that should be celebrated in every business place and in every home in Jamaica. Why should the launch of UTechOpen be celebrated? If we are to realize the vision that we have for our beloved country, and that's reflected in our Vision 2030, we have to equip our people with the right skills. And goal number 4, even before we get to Jamaica, we look at what the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are. And goal number 4, it's 17 SDGs, but goal number 4 says quality education. That we have to ensure inclusive and quality education for all and promote lifelong learning. Globally, the world of work is changing faster than ever. We're living in what is referred to now as the 4th industrial revolution, or some just call it, shorten it and say Industry 4.0. This is a technological revolution where internet and mobile communication have grown enormously. And our phones, some people are on their phones right now, our phones have become tools for our everyday lives. In July, 2 months ago, July 2024, there were, get this, 5.17 billion social media users worldwide. 5.17 billion. This, if we think about it, is 63.7% of the total global population. The typical social media user visits an average of 6.7 different platforms, social platforms each month, and spends an average of how many hours? 2 hours, 20 minutes per day. Now, if we're sleeping for 7 hours, say, then what you'll find is that those 2 hours, 20 minutes approximate to 14% of our waking lives. We're on social media. However, the future of work is being impacted by more than the technological changes. There are also impactful social and demographic changes on the way. The younger generations have different views and expectations about how they live and work. Is that true? We have aging demographics in many Western economies alongside a sense of growing inequalities, even as we contend with significant economic fluctuations and uncertainties. In this context, we have to learn and adapt, not with an aim to mimic established best practices, but to achieve best fit. So it's no longer about best practices. We should throw out that talk, because best practice really depends on what works for you in your context. So best fit is a language that we need to be using. What is likely to be the most effective in our context? To thrive in this new world, we must recognize that skills needs are going to change even more rapidly. We have to plan now to build better capabilities for continuously upskilling and reskilling our workforces and reinvent learning to be more adaptive and flexible, more digital, more embedded with work, and to build towards real learning cultures everywhere. All over the world, people are searching for ways to bring education into the place of work, to bring education and the world of work closer together. They're searching for new models to open vocational learning and create robust systems that support lifelong learning. And this focus on education is justified because good education not only equips workforces and organizations to be competitive and drive our economies, but it also creates national competitive advantage in attracting businesses to locate and invest here. Access to good skills and talent is a globally competitive game. Truth be told, even as the pace of change, what I call the race to the future, is quickening, Jamaica, in many respects, is at the back of the pack. Remember that UTech is a training base for MVP, world beaters, right? The world-beating MVP track club. So we don't believe in being at the back of the pack in any race. So we cannot remain there. But according to the Jamaica Productivity Center, the information that I researched, and this is why I said that, Jamaica has the lowest labor productivity when compared to other Caribbean countries such as Barbados, Domrep, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago. Over the past 2 decades, Jamaica has had weak and declining levels of productivity. So what that means is that per person in the workforce, we are producing less than we produced 20 years ago. From 2001 to 2022, labor productivity actually decreased at an average rate of 0.9% every year. And one reason for the low productivity is the low availability of some of the skills that we heard about and that we're seeing on this program. Those skills are required to be globally competitive in this era, so we have to transform the content of our training. Now, COVID-19, that thankfully we're emerging from, actually accelerated technology adoption in many sectors. In fact, in all sectors, I would say. So these talent-related challenges have become even more pronounced. If your company, speaking to my colleagues in the private sector, or our country cannot claim a ready pool of digital skills, we will be left behind. And to address these issues, we have to help our people identify and transition to new labor market opportunities. We must invest, and we have heard it several times this afternoon, we must invest in reskilling and upskilling programs. Last year on another university campus near here, some of us heard from, from University of London, Professor Antonio Andreoni. He's a development economics and sustainable development expert. And he gave a fascinating presentation on the battle that most middle-income nations face in their quest for advancement. Professor Andreoni and his colleagues found that very few countries have actually managed to successfully move up the income ladder. According to the World Bank, and I don't know how many of us were around in 1960, but, well, I wasn't, but, you know, I was probably thought about, did my parents meet? I don't remember. But anyway, 1960, there were 101 middle-income countries. Of those 101 middle-income countries in 1960, only 14 of them became high-income by 2008. Only 14 had made the transition. The 14 included Ireland, some southern EU countries, and the East Asian miracles such as South Korea. And Professor Andreoni noted that there's also a heavy concentration in the global manufacturing value added. So the economies of only 20 countries in the world capture 85% of global manufacturing value added. Some countries are even experiencing declining share of what we call global MVA. They're going through the process of deindustrialization. So the questions we must ask ourselves are, how do we gain a greater share of this global manufacturing value added and exponentially increase our GDP per capita to break out of the middle income trap and into a higher income group? How can we be bolder? And I was just so pleased to hear Dr. McIntosh speak about how bold her president is. You know, and I should say our president, because you heard that I did the associate of the Chartered, that I'm as associate of the Chartered Institute of Bankers. Where did I do those classes? Right here at UTech, right? So one way in which Jamaica can be bolder, according to the professor, is to grow our labor productivity through technological innovation. This means investing in reskilling our people to meet the needs of today and tomorrow. Emerging digital technologies call for a new set of digital capabilities and skills profiles. For example, programming skills, web and application development skills, digital design, data management, visualization, analytics. Dr. Graham and I were talking about the industrial engineers that his school is graduating and the business analysts that are being produced there. Well, VM needs to be talking a little more because we are short of BAs and we are short of data scientists, right? But all of these skills build on advanced literacy, numeracy, and ICT skills. And he used the example, I'm going on a bit about this, but it's a very important message, of Malaysia and Thailand, and how they had to adjust and adapt over time. These countries had long leveraged their competitive advantage of low wage costs. That's what they promoted, that our people don't get high pay. So it's cheaper to locate your business here. But when they needed to advance in terms of specialization, that competitive advantage was no longer sufficient to drive growth. They then started to focus on the skills and expertise that they needed, and they made a bold decision to develop those skills and expertise at home in a very deliberate way over several years, and that is how they were able to break out of that middle income trap. Statin reported, and we're glad about this, that unemployment is now down to record lows in Jamaica, in the 4% range. Encouraging news. But it's important that we heed the warning embedded in the breakdown of the statistics, because the reports show that the largest increase in the employed labor force by occupation group was in the category of service workers and shop and market sales workers, followed by what they referred to as the elementary occupations. So the truth is that that is not going to help us to break out of the middle income trap. In the context of our global reality, we have to be bold enough to do what is needed to ensure that more Jamaicans develop the critical digital skills that allow them to succeed in a digital world. Only so will our businesses, our nation, and our people truly thrive. And that is why we should therefore celebrate in a loud way the establishment of UTechOpen. This is the opportunity for us to address some of the key skills gaps that we need to catch up with the leaders of the race to the future. I feel like the prophet Isaiah, hearing from the Lord, who says, here the Lord says, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. That is what is being done here with UTechOpen, a new thing. So I have a few suggestions, therefore, for the leaders of the new thing, UTechOpen, business leaders, and all stakeholders who will be involved in this critical initiative. Firstly, some 5 brief suggestions. 1, let us start by identifying the skills that are really needed for Jamaica's future economy and society. We need education and learning 4.0 to support work 4.0. One expert forecasts that in 5 years, half of our skills today will no longer be of value. Or collectively, think about it, the current knowledge and skill sets of our workforce will be worth about half as much as it is now. Most of our people will need to reskill by 2030. Access to skills and talents has been among the top concerns for business leaders in most surveys globally, not just Jamaica, in recent years. So the skills required are in 3 categories. Firstly, the technical skills that are the core requirements for individual jobs. Secondly, the essential digital skills, such as the ability to communicate, collaborate, and share online, handling digital information and contact securely, managing transactions online, using digital tools to solve problems, and being safe and legal online. Very important. But the third category of skills are the essential behavioral skills. A lot of people are technically competent, but they can't problem solve. They're not good team players. They have 0 leadership skills. They can't think out of the box. They don't know how to innovate. And those are things that we have to teach. Problem solving, innovation, teamwork, leadership. And that's why Herb Kelleher, the founder of Southwest Airlines, said his motto was hire for attitude and train for skill. UTechOpen would do well to prepare our people with a good balance, therefore, of these essential behavioral skills alongside the essential digital and job-specific technical skills. That's the first point. The second point is that we need to help business leaders understand the value of learning and training. They just can't hear that from Minister Williams only. UTechOpen need to get out there and help people to understand, because what's happening is that many of us don't know in the business, we're running a big training budget. And we don't know for sure what aspects of the training and learning budgets are actually adding value. Not all of them are, not all aspects of it are. And when we can't identify that, when we get under pressure, as some of us sometimes are under cost pressure, those budgets become soft targets if we don't know what is really adding value. And the volume of employer-led training is actually worldwide declining. And this is especially low among small employers who lack resources and funding. So UTechOpen, therefore, has to help our business leaders, especially those in small and medium enterprises, to recognize that our lower productivity levels are at least partially attributable to the lower investment in workforce development, together with the higher levels of low-skilled jobs. The third point is that we also need to advance new models for education. And I was so delighted to hear some of these things this evening. The pandemic greatly accelerated the development and uptake of digital learning programs. Across all forms of education and learning, from schools to universities, as well as in the corporate world, such as the VM Group, teaching has had to adapt and go more online. The trend for digital and online learning will grow much faster as a result. However, we have to admit that enforced remote learning has also shown the real value of group and peer learning and of social interaction. So I'm recommending a blended approach. That is what is evolving now. We are using face-to-face as an opportunity for social and peer learning, while digital learning is used to impart direct knowledge and learning in ways that best suit the individual learner. Digital and online learning is opening up access to learning and education everywhere and providing more choice. There's even the phenomenon of massive open online courses, I'm sure you have heard of that offer unlimited enrollment on specific subjects, no admission process, and delivered online via video lessons, readings, and discussion forums. And then what I saw that you have here is a credentialization by which students have the opportunity to complete and gain recognized credentials in ways that are much more flexible than traditional education. Another emerging model is that of digital badging, and I saw a reference to it here as well, which allows individuals to capture their learning credentials digitally and for employers and others to see and validate them. So these new models all present opportunities for UTechOpen. Do you agree? Fourthly, UTechOpen has to make a difference in building leadership capabilities. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Leadership training has been given priority training by most organizations, priority treatment by most organizations, and the focus has been on strategic planning and business acumen. Most organizations are using instructor-led leadership training, and some combine that with executive coaching. But many of these programs, sorry to say, are failing to deliver the desired results, probably due to the fact that some programs were not designed to meet the unique needs of the respective entities. UTechOpen should see that as an opportunity, Dr. McIntosh. There's also need for more emphasis on application of knowledge and experiential learning, and appreciating the role of culture and of cultural barriers, and empowering people with greater autonomy. If you come to the table with that type of differentiation, you're likely to be even more successful. And then finally, a word now for employers such as VM and the Ministry of Education and Youth. It suits us to seek out partnership with UTechOpen to develop agile learning organizations. Benjamin Franklin said, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn." In a world where jobs are changing and new skills are needed, learning and development must be seen as a strategic organizational capability. This capability will lie at the heart of any organization's ability to adapt, to be able to develop its own workforce as well as to attract and retain the right people. To be future fit, organizations have to support and embed effective learning and development as a strategic pillar. And I know that our head of Students Loan Bureau, Nikisha Walsh, knows that as well, right? The learning capabilities must be agile. They must be able to flex with the changing needs and be effective in delivery. Be ready to act on new insights in how we learn. So learning organizations support and encourage their people to continually learn and expand their capabilities, to innovate, but also to work collectively so that they will be able to see the whole together. Learning should be seen as everyone's responsibility. The individuals have to have the self-awareness and the hunger to learn. Their managers have to encourage and support learning and themselves act as role models. So we need to also make training and learning more inclusive. There's a lot of evidence that low-paid, low-skilled workers typically get the least amount of training. Bad mistake. The poorest adults with the lowest qualifications are the least likely to have access to adult learning, despite being the group that has the potential to benefit the most from it in terms of progression and social mobility. The opportunity for growth and development should be open to all employees of any responsible business. And I say to my fellow employers, let us partner with UTechOpen to promote that principle. So congratulations, Dr. Brown. Congratulations to our leaders of this initiative, Dr. McIntosh, Dr. Graham. Really want to, and of course, to our Deputy President, Professor Sherman Barrett, all who have been involved in making this happen. This is a brave, bold new initiative. You will be equipping our people to prepare for the future. Maya Angelou, one of our favorite poets, said this: if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. So how I apply it to where we are now is that we may not welcome the changes and the forces that are upon us. We may be anxious about the volatility and the uncertainty. If we can't change them, let us prepare through education and training to thrive in this new future. Let us be champion runners in the race to the future. May UTechOpen enjoy many decades of tremendous, extraordinary success. Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask our keynote speaker, who was very inspirational, very patient, who delivered this very important address to us, to receive on all our behalf a token presented by Dr. Salmon. Dr. Salmon, yes, Dr. Lee Salmon. And then, President, I'm going to ask you to make a presentation to the minister. That's why I was chasing your minister, sorry.
Wow. Wow, isn't it a wow moment? It's a wow moment for me. Minister Favour Williams, our Pro-Chancellor, our beloved President, Dr. Kevin Brown, and Deputy President Acting, Professor Sherman Barrett, faculty, staff, students, friends, family. This is indeed a very, very special moment, a very emotional one, but a very happy one. And this afternoon, Mr. Campbell, I think you know why I feel so happy about this. It is always such a pleasure to listen to you speak to us. In my experience, you've never said no to UTech. And this afternoon is a testament to that. So we want to thank you this afternoon for sharing with us your words of wisdom, as always. As we launch this new beginning, or relaunch, or rebrand, whatever it is you want to call it, UTechOpen, School of Lifelong Learning and Professional Development. One thing you highlighted our country's low level of productivity. And as we here at the University of Technology, Jamaica, as we rise to the occasion to address this challenge through upskilling and reskilling our workforce, we thank you for the inspiration, for this inspirational address to us as we embark on this new trajectory to advance our mandate as nation builders. As we go on the journey of the skilling and the reskilling and the upskilling and providing, as you mentioned, education 4.0 for workforce 4.0, we want to thank you also for encouraging your colleagues in corporate Jamaica to partner with us as we strive to deliver the best education experience possible. So once again, the pleasure is mine to say thank you, Mr. Campbell. So here we have a little token.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's it.
And the presentation to the Honorable Favor Williams to be made by our Honorable President.
I'm going to leave the politics to Minister, so I'm not going to. She has the honorable title. Give her that one. Minister, just very briefly, I want to thank you once again for supporting UTech, as you have always done, and I'm sure will continue to do. It's been a pleasure to have you at this launch, and we look forward to your continued support as we introduce new and innovative initiatives like UTechOpen in the future. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, President. Thank you, Minister. You heard some testimonials in the video that we shared, and there are 3 persons named here. I don't know if you're still here. Miss Ave Payne, she's an underwriter with the General Accident Insurance Company. Miss Nicola Wilson, Supervisor, Marketing Department from Tip Friendly Society, and Miss Tamo Barrett, who is a Senior Accountant of the Port Authority of Jamaica. May I ask you to share just briefly your testimonials in that order? Welcome. Is this Ave Payne? Oh, yes. And we won't be much longer. We did start a little late.
Thank you. Good evening, all protocols observed. And I assure you, I won't be taking long at all. But it's always important that you get a personal view of what UTech Academy is like. And as our guests, our note speakers speak about, is that I've reached what you would call now a point in my career that I was like, where next to go? I've acquired the technical skills because I'm in the insurance industry. Acquired the technical skills, I said, what next? And that is where UTech Academy. Now, UTechOpen came into my journey, and I started with the certification in supervisory management. Yes, so I've attained that. And also, while on that journey, or in completing that, I saw a flyer in the office for the associate degree in business administration. It spiked my interest. And it's not just a matter of what it entailed. I also noted that it was affordable. So we need to talk about these things, because this is being practical. And I remember I had 3 weeks left in the supervisory management course, and it was starting the following week. I said, how can I manage this? I work full time. I have a family. I have 2 weeks left in supervisory management. How can I take on something else? And I remember Althea Smith, who is still in the office. She said, Eva, don't worry yourself. You can do it. You have 2 weeks left. Don't worry yourself about it. And sometimes we don't take the opportunity to thank some of those persons, those little words of encouragement that propel us to further our studies. And I want to thank Althea for those words of encouragement, because you don't know how that drove me to register for the associate degree in business administration. And also want to thank Colin Davis. Yes, after a hard day of work, and you come onto that campus, you see that big smile. Yes, how you do, how things. Those are the things make such a big difference. It took a weight off my shoulders, so when I come off from work, it's like I'm in a new environment, and just the welcoming environment that UTech Academy has given to me and to other students, it makes a world of difference. And sometimes we thank our lecturers, but those little people that are in the background, thank you. Thank you. And it's based on that foundation that I've gotten at UTech Academy that I was able to then move on to the UTech, where I pursued my degree in business administration, where I have finished, yes, and I have now my degree in general management with a minor in accounting with honors. Yes. So this is the platform, and I can tell you, as soon as before I even finished my supervisory management course, I found that I was using the skills. Yes, you have co-workers that you have to work with. You have junior staff that you now have to supervise. So it is a gateway, not just for anyone, but even professionals get it done. Map your career, because that's what I did. I have my technical skills. Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? What do I need to propel me further? And I realized that I needed those skills to take me further. So that's just my little words of encouragement, my experience that I have at UTech Academy. Thank you.
There's nothing like testimonial. You're hearing it from someone who has benefited. Do we have Nicola Wilson and Tamo Barrett? Yes. This is Nicola Wilson, right? Welcome her.
Good evening, everyone. And someone mentioned, and I'm not quite remembering who said it, you have a degree and so what? So what? And as I listened, I said, yes, that sounds like something I would have heard before. And after completing the supervisor management course here at UTech, it did make an impact on my journey as a new supervisor at Tip Friendly Society. So let me quickly share with you the experience. I did say good afternoon, did I? Yes, and I know some of us are tired, so I just want to check that I did say good afternoon or good evening, rather. So I'm honored to share my experience after completing the supervisory management course here at UTech. This course has been a significant milestone to me. The course has equipped me with essential leadership skills, focusing on a real-life situation. It was so impressive when I say real-life situation, the things that I experienced as a new supervisor. I sometimes wonder if the lecturer was in the office Monday through to Friday because the situation was that real. These real-life, my apologies, through the case studies and hands-on activities, it emphasized the importance of people management, and as a newly minted supervisor, I now feel confident to lead my team, solving problems and contributing to my organization's success. One of the most impactful aspects of the course was the emphasis on practical, hands-on learning. I was not just observing the theories, I was actively applying them in scenarios and mirrored real-life challenges as I faced on the job. This approach has not just deepened my understanding, but also made the transition more learning to practice seamlessly. I am truly grateful for this transformative experience and a positive impact it will continue to make on my leadership journey. As I move forward, I'm filled with thankfulness of the opportunity to learn and grow in my current position within my organization. I'm excited to apply these insights that will make a meaningful difference in my organization. Thanks to the University of Technology, UTechOpen, and my employer, Tip Friendly Society, for making me achieving this milestone as I continue on this leadership journey. Thank you.
Welcome for the third testimonial, and then we will have both of them. See, we're not far from request. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. All protocols observed. I had a well-prepared speech here, but in the interest of time, I'll just cut it short. When I decided to further my education, it was with excitement and a little bit of nerves. So I started with the associate degree in business administration at UTech Academy, now UTechOpen. I found the faculty to be very responsive and supportive. It was not just about the money or just teaching, or, they were interested in your whole being. So if you had an issue, it wasn't that you were alone. No student was deemed insignificant. Whatever issue you had, they would tend to it. I like the fact that they gave you the hands-on experience, the experience that you would have in the real world. And so you could matriculate to the degree at UTech, the UTech Technology, which I did. I matriculated to the BBA, sorry. I matriculated to the BBA, which I passed with honors, and now I'm currently doing my MBA, which I got a scholarship for from a university in the UK, and I'm actually at my final module. UTech Academy gave me the foundation that I needed. It's allowed me to
enhanced my critical thinking ability. It allowed me to look at things and analyze and not just take things for what they seem to be. So it was deep reading, gaining greater knowledge, and at the end of the day, I can truly say thank you, UTech Academy, for giving me this wonderful foundation, and do continue to build the nation one person at a time.
Thank you so much, ladies, for the testimonials, and we are proud of where UTech Academy, UTechOpen has launched you into, and sky's the limit, keep climbing. We're very proud of you. We are going to close now, and Professor Sherman Barrett is standing beside me because she's going to do two things. She's going to declare that UTechOpen is launched, and then she's going to do the brief vote of thanks. Thank you so much, Professor Barrett.
Thank you, Professor Young. I am going to take liberty and do it the other way around. But I'm delighted to be able to bring the curtains down on this afternoon. I was fortunate to have been in the university when UTech Academy was launched, and I looked around and I thought a significant person is not in the room. And so I want to start right there. But by the time you get to vote of thanks, all protocols observe long time. So we leave that alone and we move on. But I want to acknowledge in her absence, Professor Geraldine Hodlin, who should have been in the room this evening. Because she, all of what Dr. McIntosh spoke about, Trelawney, the this, that was her work. I remember coming in, I was flying out of the country once, and I took, you can take the plane down that time, and we were on the same flight, and we got into Montego Bay, and she, of course, it's Professor Hodlin, so she's herself. And then she said, so where are you going? And we talk, and then she said, well, I have a meeting now, because UTech Academy have this to do in Trelawney, and we have plenty people to get, plenty. And it's hard, but I'm getting it done. And I'm certain she'll be proud of where we are today. And I want to acknowledge her. I also want to acknowledge another person who is in the room with us, and that is Mrs. Pamela Kelly. So I'm not acknowledging you as orator, I'm acknowledging you for your years of leadership in the academy. So I want to acknowledge you. So these are the shoulders on which Dr. McIntosh now stands. Whatever it looks like, that's our history. I guarantee you, if they didn't work, we wouldn't be here today. You'd be busy still working it out. Because the journey would be long, but they have enabled you and enabled us, and we want to honor them. And that honoring is not that we omitted them. That honoring is just to show that the foundation we build. Somebody was speaking, one of the speakers, and I thought, you just need to start. And each of the persons who shared their testimonials spoke to that. I haven't heard one who did their associate degrees and went home. They went on to bachelor's, and now they're doing masters, and by the time I see them, they will be professors of something else. You never know. So that's to show you how education has a way of opening up, and opening up your appetite. But it's not every education. Some you just, geez, I'm tired of this, we need to go home, no more. So I'm saying that to big up UTech, that we ignited a fire in you to want to go on. So, good. I never even knew that the academy was doing those things, igniting fire. Thought we were just giving a degree or a preliminary. So I'm happy to hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, if I was to give this speech, it could take 3 minutes, 5 minutes. That's my thank you. Okay? So, deep breath. But nonetheless, persons are to be thanked. And so I want to start by acknowledging our chaplain who has left us. But anyway, a personal friend, Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels. Of course, he always does his thing with such enthusiasm and energy and laughter. That has been him over the years. He might look older than me, so I came at a young age, but we were at UTech together. So I have to establish that I came when I was younger. If he was in here, he would answer me. But we were in UCCF together, we had good times. So we want to acknowledge him. And then we want to acknowledge our minister who has left us. And of course, our Mr. Mark Golding, the leader of opposition. I want to acknowledge all the persons who formed a part of the program this evening. And you know, if my husband was in the room, he would say, "Why are you holding up the paper?" Because you know people not to see your notes. But it's neither him nor me prepare it, because we have the trick for why it can hold down. What is the trick? Make the font big. Now, the one who prepared it, his eyes are capable. Mine is not, so please forgive me as I hold it up. So I'd like to acknowledge Shantae, our singer. What a beautiful sound. What a beautiful sound. That was beautiful. So we really want to acknowledge her. We want to acknowledge our main sponsors, the Students' Loan Bureau, and Ms. Nikisha Welch for her few words today, and for educating us on all the good things that you are doing and how you are evolving. Because if you don't evolve, you're going to keep the money down there, because the students not coming. So you are evolving, and we appreciate that. I really like the reduction, the 1% and the 2% reduction, and all those things. Very good. So good to have had you. We want to acknowledge, who am I missing out in this group? All our people who big us up. The last 3 people, you know, that big us up. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate you. And we want to acknowledge our VM group representative. You see how he sits so comfortable? That's always him. He's just so comfortable in whichever sphere he's in, whichever forum. So, Mr. Campbell, though, we want to really appreciate you. You have gotten your speech already from the one who gave you the gift, so I won't give you another speech. I'll just say we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Was there anybody else on the program that I'm leaving out? Oh, you? What did you do? I didn't know. So thank you all for your work this evening, but I'm not done, because I now want to acknowledge our moderator, Professor Garfield Young, for his expert guidance through the program. Yes, it was good of you, but still keep your full-time job. Because UTech moderation can't pay you. You have to do it somewhere else, so stay right there. And now I want to acknowledge a team, the UTechOpen team. And if you are in the room, I want to ask you to stand so we can acknowledge you. I think one person is missing at least, because I'm not seeing them. Please stand. So only one, team. Yes, most are on the outside, making sure things are in order. But we want to acknowledge the team. And so, Dr. McIntosh, please give our thanks to the entire team. Sir Colin, good to see you, and congratulations. You have made it. We have made it to this point. But ladies and gentlemen, the team would not want me to complete without saying, acknowledging our corporate and industry partners. Of course, the Students' Loan Bureau, the Victoria Group, yes, let's keep it going. And we want to acknowledge, this one says, they're thanking everybody, you know. All right, our partners are big. ISOS for printing, for their printing services. Mrs. Miss Claudette Lewis for the team for catering, tropical foliage for the palms you see there, a very thankful team. They're not leaving out nobody. The Jamaica Defense Force for the group, the video testimonial. The video, that last thing we saw about UTechOpen, who produced that? The library. So thank you so much to library for an excellent piece. Love it. I loved it. I loved it. So who else have I left now? So now the team would like to acknowledge the council of the university. So Pro-Chancellor, you can bow on their behalf. The governance committee, the academic board, you know why they're thanking them? If they never approve it, we would not be here today. So they're making sure to say thank you. And the office of the president, then listen now. In one part it says the office of the president, and then I must say my office. I'm telling you how it is. Anyway, the office of the president, office of the deputy president, the registrar's office. Let me make sure everybody is being called. The colleges and faculties whom after the various fights, we are here together. This team knows to be strategic. It says for the collective buy-in. So we want to thank you. And then all other units. You know, when you're getting married and you thank, by the time you go to remember that you never thank somebody, I think I'm heading in that direction now. So let's go to the support team. Facilities management, we want to acknowledge you. And this team, led by our Miss Latoya Smith, that's here. The office, we talked about you already. The Center for the Arts, from which we got our soloist this afternoon. And I had the pleasure yesterday of sitting as a part of the team that for the auditions yesterday, and that was good. Oh, no, never know me could do that too. Yes, I was watching the singers and tell whether they can sing or not. So obviously Shantae was one of those who got through long ago, and she's doing very well. So we want to acknowledge them. We want to acknowledge the marketing unit for the design of the program and for coordinating the volunteers. Are there any of the ambassadors in the room, the student ambassadors, or are they all outside? They're on the outside doing what they are supposed to do because they are serving as ushers. We want to acknowledge the corporate communications unit for the dissemination of the invitations. We want to acknowledge the Calvin McCain Library for the filming, the editing, the production of the video, which I just asked about. And so the team would like to specially mention Michelle Thomas. And special thanks to Mrs. Diane McDaniel and Mr. Aldane Ray. And all of these people by these cameras and things, we thank you also. And we thank the team up the top. I'm ticking it on, making sure I get everybody. And see, somebody still whisper to me, what will you know? Oh, we want to acknowledge the alumni, the alumni office, right? But I'm not seeing the alumni in the room. After she said, cover up. Her mouth is nicely covered, I missed her. Miss Alumni Office, Miss Cheryl, we want to acknowledge you and thank you very much. I glued to you, tell me, because I'm have to go and go pray. And then we want to acknowledge and thank all our students' union body for coming out and for supporting us. Listen to me now. Anyone I omitted, I want to ask you to please forgive me and the team. All right? That's the best way to say it. So, but though, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I think it was a beautiful evening, a lovely afternoon into evening. And thank you for those of you who stayed right through to the end. And now, in my capacity as Deputy President Acting, I declare our 9th school Open. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Professor Barrett. We invite you to mingle on the outside where we have refreshments. So thank you again for coming. Have a good evening.